Good evening. Welcome to the Town Board Workshop, Thursday, May 7th, 2015. Let's all rise to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The emergency exits are at the back of the room and in midway. Are there any public comments?
Real quick, roll call.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Delango.
Here.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger.
Here.
Deputy
Deputy.
Supervisor Vicki
Here.
Doyle. Councilman Prodi.
Present.
And let it be noted that Supervisor Prodi is absent. And we do have one public comment, Mr. Warner. Tom?
Tom Warner, and I'm still proud to be from Amenia, even with our ups and downs. It's still the best place in the world to live. The only thing that I'm concerned about was the action of the planning board the other night, which definitely was not representative of the town. And their actions fall under the guidance of the town board. You can override them or agree with them, whichever you choose. I hope that whatever you do is the best interest of the residents of Amenia. The people on the board and their families are going to suffer the consequences of their vote in years to come if it's wrong. Thank you.
Are there other public comments? So, Town Clerk?
Good evening. The minutes of April 16th have been circulated to the board. Has all board members had the opportunity to review them? Okay.
Thank you for printing them.
Oh, you're welcome.
That helps.
Would you like to approve them?
Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of April 16th, 2015?
I move to approve the minutes.
Okay. Did I say
Second
April
that.
16? I said April 16th. Okay.
Yep.
For April 16th.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger? Yes. Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
And Councilman Prodi?
Yes.
Okay, I'd also like to report to the town board that the local share in the amount of $1,041.75 has been remitted to the town supervisor. At this time, I am in receipt of Leo Blackman's resignation from the ZBA. So at this time, I'm seeking a motion to accept his resignation and then authorization to advertise for the open seat.
I move that we accept Leo Blackman's resignation and advertise for the open seat. Thank you, Leo, for all of the time and effort. Being chairman of the Zoning Board of Appeals is not an easy task, and we are grateful for your service to our community.
I need a second.
I'll second it.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger? Yes. Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
And Councilman Prodi?
Yes.
And I just have 4 quick announcements. I'd like to remind the residents in the town of Amenia and our neighboring towns that the Amenia Fire Company will be hosting a 5K race this May 17th. Sign up at the Amenia Firehouse at 7 a.m. and the race walk will begin promptly at 8 a.m. The Wasake Fire Company has previously announced that they're going to be hosting a pancake breakfast this Sunday. They have decided to cancel said breakfast, so they wanted to let the public know that they apologize and they're canceling. I'd like to take this opportunity once again to thank the supporters here in the town of Amenia. We have a great recreation cheer team. The Amenia Recreation Cheer Team has placed first place in their division as they attended their U.S. finals in Providence, Rhode Island. And last month I was here, or the month before, I was here and I was excited to say that they had placed second when they were at nationals. Well, they've taken it a step further and they've placed first. So congratulations, ladies, Coach Katrina Stossel, for all of your hard work and dedication this year. And we look forward to another successful year that begins in the fall. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there in town. And that will conclude my report this evening.
I don't believe we have our building department report, so we'll move on to the committee reports. The historian. You ready? I know, we're moving right along.
It's a beautiful spring day out there, Arlene. It's a beautiful spring day, so we're just moving right along.
Sounds good. Hey, Arlene, excuse me. Good evening, people. Arlene Giuliano, town historian, just with a few comments from about state of history in the town of Amenia, so to speak. I did attend the event, Dutchess County Tourism event Tuesday down at Dutchess Stadium, and gave out what I have, which this is a brochure exchange amongst the various towns and other agencies within the county, to just so we can all find out what other people are doing and bring information to each other, so to speak. Right. The only, due to apparently a printing problem, there was supposed to be a new Amenia brochure with some pictures and basically pictures and much less written material. This was the old one for Amenia, and it was decided to make it into more pictures, and it didn't get printed because of, well, Steve can tell you more about that.
Yeah.
But you want me to finish it and give you the floor?
If you like. It worked out actually that we needed to hold off on it because there were, I know that the Indian Rock Schoolhouse they've changed the time of their event. I had originally had a different time on it, and they had to meet. They met on Tuesday, on that evening, and they're actually going to be having their event in September from 11 to 3. And so it was good that, I held off on it when I did, but with the help of the Amenia Historical Society with Betsy Strauss, we were able to get a lot of old photographs and put them in a new brochure. The brief history that Arlene worked so hard on and did is still the focal point of the brochure. But we also have all these lovely pictures from Amenia. It's kind of a calendar of events. I had to have a rough version of it. What I'm actually waiting to do is, now that I have the time, I added the Amenia Farmers Market to the event to the visual calendar of events, but I'd like to get a better picture of it in full force, and hopefully I'll be able to do that this coming Friday. So, but this is what it looks like. I don't know if he can zoom in on it or not.
Mike?
Okay, I'll try.
Yeah. bigger pamphlet.
There we go. Okay, and then I'm gonna flip it around. As you can see, there are photographs. We have the old Amenia station. We also have the United Presbyterian Church back in the day, and the old Amenia Fire Company's their firehouse, and then we also have the Indian Rock Schoolhouse, Main Street and Fountain Square, and then what it looks like today, and the old picture of the old Amenia Seminary. You know, just an updated map of the Harlem Valley Rail Trail. But we kind of learned from this that we're going to probably, we might need to do an additional brochure that focuses on not the tourism side of things, but on the informational side of things.
Like this,
like the old one.
which had telephone numbers, which had basic information that anybody might need at one point in time, whether they live here or don't live here. And that's the thing that is missing, right? And again, it's up to you guys. If you want to, you know, make another brochure with other types of information. This kind of brochure began in the middle of 1990s. I remember because I was here doing it, or rather Atlanta Angwin was doing it. And this is what we came up with, which was a broader, it includes recreation programs, attractions and things to do, which, you know, points of interest, and points of interest specifically when we revised this is Mary Millette and myself. Basically, she did a lot of the work, and I went out to and talked specifically to Cascade Mountain Winery, Miley Farm, Keen Stud Farm, and Coon Brothers, to see if they wanted to put something and not make announcements here. And the fact that they do give tours occasionally. Yeah. Not everybody who calls is going to get a tour from any of these places. But on the other hand, in my opinion, it is representative of the town. And if we're trying to promote ourselves, and there's some businesses here and other that are willing to have people come in and tour their area. Miley's I talked to him, I mean, he's got a great spot down there or on 343 with all kinds of animals, and people stop there already. And he's got them, you know, and since we still are considered as an agrarian community out here, even though there's much less of the farms than there were in the past, he does attract people. And so does Coons Brothers, and so does, Keen Stud. I talked to them directly, and this was 3 or 3 years ago when we first started to update this. I went and talked to them personally, and they do tend to have tours from colleges. They don't have, that was what I was told then. But they were willing to be listed in this type of a document, this pamphlet. So when Steve and Andy talked to me, and I said, well, I think I stressed that kind of information, the fact that we might need something like that. Again, it's up to you guys. We might need a few telephone numbers, and as long as we've got a rail trail, we need a rail trail document, and So I just would continue to promote the consideration by the board of some other document, which Steve is very kindly announcing anyway. Maybe it only needs to be a card with 2 sides or something, but you can come up with that. This is what I used to represent Amenia Tuesday. And this was the one that was done, I did it with the blessing of the town and a grant in 2009 for the quadricentennial, when the walkway event. And this is great. Everybody says it is, anyway. And it's got a great map in here, but it's historic. not up to date in the sense of, it's a historic land and historic information, especially about the Dutchess Turnpike and Amenia getting into contact and having a way to get to Poughkeepsie way back in the early 1800s, and so they could finally they could sell wheat and whatever other products they finally could sell versus what they just could grow for themselves. But this is going to be a little outdated, especially if you don't upgrade that viewpoint up on Delavan Hill. I hope the trees are going to be cut because it that's been a selling point in this town since 1700. And I'll refer you to McCracken, Newton Reed, and everybody who writes about Dutchess County history, which there are a few who write specifically about, and have a lot of information. And the major point has always been the beauty of this side of and especially in this area. And so that's, and I have no problem with that since I grew up here a long time ago, long before any of you, so to speak. And I hate to see us lose it. I understood when I talked to Pedro of Silo Ridge that we weren't going to lose, that area was going to be cleaned up. Again, I guess they're just getting settled anyway with what they're going to be able to do, which again is a long process for them, and right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm not commenting on them. But I hope that we can maintain that viewpoint and make people aware of all the other great things in Amenia. And there's a lot of viewpoints in Amenia. It is basically, I think, possibly has more than over on the Hudson than there probably Rhinebeck has. And along the Hudson, of course, maybe they do. But it is a very valid point that we have a beautiful area here, and that's why people came here in the first place. And everybody has maintained that area open until the last decade, I would say last decade. John Segal, I think, was the last one who owned that property before, it started changing hands, and I never remember. And of course, I do go back further than all of you, so I can remember as a kid, and I made sure that I've left you some pictures out there in the hallway to remind you every time. But, obviously I get passionate about that. But that's what I had on Tuesday. I had the Wasake one that did get reprinted, and that was basically it. On the other hand, there weren't quite as many people there, but that's beside. We pulled up. I rode with Valerie LaRobadier from Dover. She's one of the historians down there, and we park out in the lot in front of the entrance to the Renegade Stadium, and do it out of our trunk, or on the trunk, whatever. That's the way it's done. And people walk around, Mary Kay Virgo was there, Mark Molinaro, and others. They do a little. But Mary Kay and her department, in my opinion, have done a great, great job for this county. And the town of Amenia shouldn't be missing out too much. Matter of fact, somebody isn't. And you guys may know once I give it to you. I didn't know this thing existed. You need this.
Okay.
So you can write down.
Write down exactly what you're giving.
Right. See,
I want to make a mistake. You do. You're very good at this.
This is for. Oh, Victoria, I'll give it that. These are basically from Dover and.
Oh yeah.
Written book here. And there's a few.
Nice.
Other
Give you some
books,
ideas.
other pamphlets or.
How to improve ours.
But there's one in there, right? See the I want you to look at it. If you don't. Well, that one, 4 of us towns over here on this side are working on that one. But this one's about Amenia. And I didn't know it existed, but that doesn't mean, because why should I know? Really, unless I'm.
Thank you.
There's
Comes up and
something
around.
specifically about
A
the
bike
rail
tour.
trail, and you don't.
A bike tour in Amenia.
That's the thing.
Right?
Anyway, I'm just bringing in a few of the ones that I think are that I will have quite a few of them. I will leave them out in the hallway in the trophy spot. There's 2 or 3 more that I picked up, but well, few people did pick up from Amenia. They stopped at our table, over. But do you know about this?
The
You
tour,
probably know about
we do.
this, and I don't know.
It's very nice.
Somebody's.
We
This
do,
is
yeah.
the wrestler. Do you know what you guys know about this? I guess you're not interested. Too funny, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so I will bring in what I did pick up. The town of Amenia was represented, and I just felt a little bad that we didn't have a little more, because I have no problem relating with people, you know, in these kind of settings. Not that I'm a great super salesman, I'm not, but anyway. But the town of Amenia was there. And as long as I'm walking around, I'll be wherever I have to be, if I can, unless I'm happy. You know, now the next event is, the materials there from Dover, or from the Dover historian, and obviously in a couple, next week, they're having their, no, next month they're having their Civil War event down in Dover, right?
June 13th and 14th.
Yes, I'm going to one out at Locust Grove this upcoming week, so I'm getting the 2 of them balled up. And there I will bring pamphlets and what have you to represent the town of Amenia. Okay, so I'm doing the best I can, right? And do you have enough passports?
I do, if you have more, I've
Oh,
been
I-
handing them out,
well,
my scouts have been taking
they've
them, but
got-
we're good.
They've got more out there because, and I didn't pick up any, but they do have them, so.
I have about 8 left in the office.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, I mean, I've been
Well,
handing them
then I
out.
think you can call them and see if they'll send them, I don't,
Okay,
if they don't want to send them out and you, I'll pick them up.
okay, thank you.
You know, just let me know, right? Okay, so, anyway, next week, yeah, so there's a few things going. Now, this foot road and rail is a group of us on this side, which I mentioned, and this was organized by Valerie LaRobadier, for those of us historians on Eastern Dutchess, meaning Pauling, Dover, Amenia, and Millerton, to get together and produce a brochure for this side and come up with some kind of tourist arrangement here, where there's monies out there. I think I mentioned this the last time. There are grant monies out there, and when towns cooperate, maybe you could be able to come up with something that we could, you know, bus schedule, tourist days, whatever. But I'll do the best to keep on with it. But I really would hope the town would get a little more supportive of tourism, and if I'm wrong, I apologize to anybody for saying
not
that.
wrong.
But I don't see it.
That was the whole point of redoing it.
Huh?
That was the whole point of doing,
That's
working
right.
on the project.
That's right.
And, to bring it to light, I think this is great. I mean,
Yes.
it says here, the Amenia Seminary, having that painting in this would have been a nice thing,
Yeah.
But you
Okay,
guys,
right.
you're limited on the space, but, if there's a way that we can redo the one that we did in 2009, I
Yes.
think we'd be in good shape, But like I said, whatever we can do to promote the town and the community.
Yeah. We do have we have places here that people could spend, riding around, especially. Not everybody wants to get out of their car. Some people like to view the area from a distance and then finally go in and eat something or someplace. I mean, so anyway, I just wanted to bring that to you and bring it to your attention that I did attend. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Arlene. Next on the list, if there are any committee reports, they should make their report now. Is that Chris? Great.
Chris Klingner, Chair of Recreation. We just had a meeting on Monday night. I just want to let everybody know a few things going on. We are in full swing over at the ballpark. I can probably guarantee there's some kind of game going on 7 days a week. So please feel free to come out and enjoy some baseball, softball, and whatever else is going on over there. Even the Weepatuck boys are over there using our fields. I think their games start around 4 o'clock. So from 4 o'clock to by about 8 o'clock, there's games going on, including Saturday, and then the men's softball league on Sunday. So plenty of games to watch. We also just accepted a karate class come the fall. We're just working out the logistics with the town hall. More than welcome to have, this gentleman in. And it's going to be a recreation karate class. And we look forward to it. A lot of people travel to find karate, so we're going to have it here for the kids and adults. The gentleman has 2 separate classes that he wants to offer. So once we get to a spot, we realize how many people that really want to get involved, then we'll move forward a little bit more. And lastly, I just want to say I apologize for our webpage. We're in the process of trying to collect all the data because there's just so much going on at this town hall right now, different classes and things that are being offered, that we'd like to get it up there. And I know I'm just supposed to submit stuff to Gretchen. She's been great for us, so I just want to get all this stuff together from everybody and try to get it out there because there's really, I'd probably say pretty close to 7 days a week, something going on here. Thank you.
Did the board want to go ahead and accept this offer from this karate instructor? We did recommend that $25 is the building use fee, that they would fill out the building use fee. He does have insurance. He was looking into how many mats we have to make sure that the space and all of that. But is it the general feeling from the board that karate is appropriate for this kind of use of our building, if he's willing to pay the $25 and provide the appropriate insurance, et cetera?
I mean, did he say how much the classes were going to be and stuff like that?
He did have a form that he gave out. Unfortunately, I didn't get one. I know a couple of the other members do have one. When I locate one, I'll pass it along to you guys. It did seem very reasonable for, I believe it was like a 10-week program, I want to say was what it was. And even a couple of the members on Recreation agreed that it was a great price because they have been looking around for their children also. And he wants to offer it right here at the town hall so nobody would have to travel. As Vicki Doyle did say, he does have his own insurance, he does have everything else. He does this in approximately 12 other locations, 4 towns. He doesn't do it privately in his own studio, dojo,
Garage,
I'm not quite sure what it's called. He does it in different towns. So I know he's over in Warren, Kent. I think he comes from out by the Waterbury area. So, and what he'll do is he has instructors in the area that he has teach, and they all fall underneath his insurance. And he said he had a gentleman that just moved somewhere locally that he's been trying to find a class for. And everybody is a certain degree black belt. I forget what it was again, I apologize. And he teaches them, I guess, the different things that he needs to make sure that they can coach other people, not just being black belts. And he seemed, he was more than willing to give us some references. He gave us some information to call other towns to see, what it was about. He came very professional with a lot of material. And I could probably, if I ran out the car, I might have some of it. I can pass whatever I do have along to you guys.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. I think that'd be great.
Everybody's not into baseball, soccer, a little something for everybody, I think.
And he was thinking about starting in the fall. That seems to work out well. And then he was just going to work with the town clerk to see if there was, in fact, a slate of time when the gym would be available. He talked about Saturdays, and then I thought the farmer's market and all of that. But you have a good sense of what's going on when. So if he could find a date and time that could be done in a 10-week session without overlapping, that would be great, I guess.
No, I think it's a good idea. The only thing that I'm a little, and it's not just with the karate class, this $25 for the use of the town hall, eventually we should start looking into those fees, because, I mean, it's one thing if we're getting classes and it's not costing the town members anything, that's great, I agree with that. But I just want to, you know, people are doing these classes and everything, and they're profiting off it. I would like to look at the fees and, hey, you know, it's one thing if they were doing a class and all town members, there's free of no charge. Hey, I'll waive the $25. But there are things that are going on in this town that people are profiting off of. And for $25 to rent the gymnasium for almost a day, I mean, that's crazy.
I know the gentleman did say in other towns, some recreation departments collect the fees and then the town pays him. And then in other ones, he collects the fees and then he gives a percentage to the town.
Yeah.
He was willing to work either way. So if that's
I mean,
something
I'm not just singling out the karate guy because I
Oh,
think
no,
it's a great
absolutely.
idea because I would send my kids there. But
your wife was one that did say that.
I just think that, you know, somewhere down the road, we should look at these fees and go over what's going on. You know, that's what I was asking about with the kitchen and stuff too. You know, they want to spend all this money on a commercial kitchen and we don't know what the return is going to be. So
It's also for, if this is a place of refuge for emergency services, that's also the reason why we're doing the kitchen.
Right. So just on the fees end, on his end, he was willing to go either way. So I think if you did end up raising fees, I don't think he'd really have too big of an issue with it, as long as it just wasn't outrageous that he couldn't afford it. So he was willing to work with whatever we want. Personally, I'd much rather see him collect the fees because we don't really have somebody here to do that,
Yeah.
and then just hand over a percentage or whatever that you guys feel is correct, you know, over to the town. That's fine with us also.
no, definitely.
We have 3 bids for the gymnasium window estimates, and this was part of our, the original idea was from NYSERDA, did an energy estimate for us and felt that these windows are something that are a serious energy loss for the town hall. And so
I'm
Victoria...
sorry, we're not doing the 4422 intersection crosswalk and Route 22 crosswalk.
Yeah, we can do that next if you'd like, or we
Well,
can...
that's what it was on the agenda. That's why I was asking
Oh,
if we were just
certainly.
skipping over it.
Sorry.
worries.
She is correct. The next thing on the item was the Route 44/22 intersection crosswalk and Route 22 crosswalk. Victoria would like me to read to you the letter from the Department of Transportation that is dated April 15th, 2015. Dear Ms. Perotti, this is in response to your letter of February 13th, 2015, requesting the department install flashing lights at the crosswalk on Route 22/44 at the Town Hall. Your letter also requested the review of the traffic signal operation and pedestrian signals at Route 22/44/343 intersection in the town of Amenia. A study was completed at the 2 locations on Route 22/44. The study included a field review of the locations and a review of the most recent available 3-year accident history. The field review of the crosswalk at the town hall found that it is properly marked with pedestrian warning signs as well as reflective post inserts that enhance sign visibility. During the field review at the Route 22/44/343 traffic signal, the pedestrian signals for each pedestrian crossing were tested and found to be working properly. The review of the most recent 3-year accident history at Route 22/44/343 intersection found 8 reported accidents occurring at this signalized intersection, none of which involved pedestrians. These accidents did not include an unusual amount of any particular type of accident. This lack of an accident pattern indicates that the majority of the accidents that have occurred can be attributed to driver error or misjudgment. This random type of accidents makes it difficult to provide any beneficial countermeasures. Subsequent to discussing your letter at our office on March 9, 2015, it is our understanding that your request to review the signal at the Route 22/44/343 intersection to see if a delay or other option is available refers to delaying the eastbound traffic from Route 44 to allow a leading green arrow for the westbound Route 43 traffic. This type of signal modification is
I think they mean undertaken.
undertaken when it can mitigate a substantial operational issue or mitigate an accident pattern. A field review of this location failed to identify an operational issue, and a review of the accident history at the location did not identify a pattern of left turn accidents that could be mitigated by the installation of the requested left turn arrow. Regarding your request to install flashing lights at the Town Hall crosswalk, the use of flashing beacons on warning signs is reserved for locations that have a verifiable accident pattern that could be mitigated by the installation. A review of the latest 3-year accident history failed to find any such patterns at this location. As a result of this study, additional pedestrian warning assemblies with ahead panels will be installed on both Route 22/44 approaches in advance of the crosswalk to enhance the driver awareness of the Town Hall crosswalk. We appreciate your interest and thank you for your concern. If you require further information, please contact the Regional Traffic Safety and Mobility Group. Thank you, John Cubbins, Civil Engineer 1. Okay, so we've got a new sign that will be installed to help us warn of a crosswalk right in front of Town Hall at the crosswalk. Is there any other discussion about that before we move on to gymnasium windows? You have a question? Can you go to the
Marilyn Noe, Amenia. My concern is when you push the button and they have the indicator stating that it's safe for a pedestrian to cross the street at 22, 343 or whatever. There is not enough time, especially for a mother with a child in a stroller, or and I've been in this situation myself when I ran the daycare. You have maybe a baby in the stroller, plus you have a little child, and the amount of time is much too short.
And we did have a pedestrian safety person, Jim Rapoli, come out, and he said exactly the same thing. And what we needed to do is really lobby them to provide a better, longer signal, and maybe the countdown so that you know that you have, 10, 9, and they can lengthen that electronically to make it more appropriate for the distance that you have to travel across that wide.
So, what I'm saying is if if something could be corrected, that would be great.
Yeah, I think we have to lobby harder. Right?
I can add to that.
Okay.
As I walk slow now.
Yeah, go ahead.
In other words, those of us that do have, need for canes and what have you, you can't get across there in the time frame.
allotted.
Right.
Right.
And back to the light intersection there in the center of town, they're going to have to start teaching in these driver ed programs how you
Negotiate that.
do the turns at such a intersection. A lot of cars are not doing the right thing in the sense of all of us, and that's why I think that
It is a very
you
awkward
can't,
intersection.
if somebody's going to go make and now I'm going to get it confused, so I don't want to get into it too, but if somebody's going to make a turn behind a car that's coming straight and you're over here waiting to go this way, they just do their thing, and that there's very much a likelihood to have, one car hit another there. They're supposed to wait. They're supposed to go behind the car that's coming, right? I don't
They're
think
passing on the right, that's what they're doing.
That's right.
When a car is
That's
making
right.
a left-hand turn, the people
gonna hit
behind
slide
them,
by.
they can't wait, so they're passing
No,
on the
they can't wait
right.
for
They'll
anything.
pass on the right. They'll
And
pass
if
on the
someone's
left,
coming to make
pass
the
on
left-hand
Right.
turn onto 22,
Yeah.
you got the
Give 'em
car
to me,
coming
I'll pass
down, and then the other car, it is a
They jump
mess.
in.
Thank you for, because but
But-
that's a major, major problem.
You could
And-
put up as many signs and
As
signals
you
as you
want,
want.
and they're gonna
The
do it their
people-
way anyway.
Pass it down.
So
I
if the
agree.
driver.
Maybe we could get a cop sitting on the corner there and start giving out a couple tickets for it.
It's a packet.
Yes, you really do, but as far as the
Friday
timing,
night,
I
Sunday night.
support what was
For
said.
Mike Gretchen and
Thank
Vicki.
you.
Oh, great.
Chris brought in the
Oh, that was
information
quick.
so we can follow up on it tonight.
That was the karate.
Oh, and then
So it's Chris's sense that he'd like to see us go ahead and
Yes.
pass this proposal.
I mean, I haven't been contacted by the gentleman, so he hasn't signed the building use form, and he's,
Right.
you know, so I was not at the meeting, so I don't know if he was quoted the $25 as to what the building use fee is. I mean, anything can happen between now and September.
I mean, Chris, are you looking for, what do you need from us? Just to say this is okay?
You need nothing.
Well, I guess theoretically, it's, you know, we accepted it as in, now it's I guess you guys to say whether he can actually use the building or not. You know, we just want to see the class, so we kind of just voted on ourselves, but ultimately it comes down to you guys allowing him to use the building.
I mean, the rec commission thought it was a good idea.
We thought it was a great idea to be able to.
Then we
I-
just
I-
need a building use form.
Yeah, and I told him
That's
that we'll move forward and, you know, there'll be some conversation because the building is so busy, but he'd have to speak with the town clerk to make sure that it fits into a schedule that they can do.
Yeah.
And I told him somewhere in the next couple of weeks that, you know, we'll be speaking.
I mean, I'm all for it. Just let them come up with a plan and figure out logistics,
I mean, I think
guess.
if we're gonna be discussing building use, Mike, you know, costs, I wanna take it to the next step for the board to start considering, you know, I don't bring everything that comes into the building. If they're paying the $25, they're giving me the $1 million insurance and they completed a building use form, the town board doesn't need to approve it. You know, if recreation is approving a rec-sponsored program, as long as they're sponsoring the program and it's a rec insurance, then there's no $25 fee, there's no insurance, there's nothing. So I think maybe we should sit down and have some guidelines
Yes.
instituted, so that way individuals and committees know when it has to come to this table and when it just stops at the office.
I agree. Now, another problem that I've been seeing with everybody, you know, with all the traffic in the building and stuff, there was a couple times I left the building, I thought I was the last one, and there's other people in here.
Oh, that's a common,
You know, I mean, we should look at some kind of sign in, sign out sheet. You know, the last person out that's looking to set the alarm, if there's no sign out.
And
you
we're
know.
here in a town board meeting and we're having the alarm set off on us. And I don't know how they don't hear us, so I've sent out plenty of those emails. in the past
You know, I
3
mean, that's something that, you know, if we're going to go over building use, we should start discussing that also.
Right.
Some kind of sign-in sheet or something that we know that people are still in the building.
One of the parts that we instituted about a year and a half ago with the building use form, we added the additional form where the building inspector had to sign off on it, where it reviews that they announce where the fire exits are and emergency information, and maybe we can just somehow reiterate that to the current activity that's going on in the board. Because this building is, it's used first thing in the morning, late at night. I mean,
It's great that it's being used, but like I said, you know, someone's going to think someone's in the building, they're going to leave and not set the alarm and not lock the door.
And then the second caveat to building use is setting standards and how much of it is recs and how much of it is community, how much of it is committees and commissions, and to prioritize the activities. A lot of behind-the-scene conversations are taking place in swapping rooms, which is becoming an issue. For me, when I say you have the room through June 26th, but you know, 2 other individuals have decided to swap rooms, but they don't know the commitment's been elsewhere. So I think if we can just formalize it, I think it'll put a halt to some of the issues that we're having here.
I would think
So
that
one of the
building.
things that I did was I worked with Dawn Marie's office to set up the building rooms as resources on a calendar that you can access once you log in to our email system. So it's available to all the members of committees, et cetera.
You have to be
That-
on our email system, of
Yeah,
course.
that you can view what room is in use by whom, when. Dawn's office, of course, is the one that puts the entries into the system. And I think it'll help us coordinate a little bit better which room goes where.
Doesn't the building use form pretty much ensure the fact that you have that room and that that's the room that you are assigned, and therefore if it's left messy or whatever, you're the one still responsible for it?
It does, but what's happening is there are members of other committees and commissions that, because they sit on a board title, oh, well, you can use the gym, or no, you can use the rec room, oh, no. And then, you know, and
So they're
then,
going past you and they don't have.
and
a
it's not
building use form.
until the room's already been assigned to someone, and then when the switch was done behind the scenes, then I'm getting the phone call, well, so-and-so's in here.
Right.
So it's more of an in-house issue.
Dawn, if you
that-
could get a list of the problems that you're having, what
Yeah.
you're seeing,
Right.
you know, get a list
And that's
for
why I
us.
say to you, I want to be able to prioritize this on the building use form, you know, what's rec and what's not rec. Hey, listen, my husband's the chairman, and I'm the first one to go home at night. You can't do this, the gym is in full use. 4
No,
o'clock
but
on,
like
you
I
know,
said, I think the best thing is let's get a
It's
list
used.
of the problems that we have,
Right.
and then it's gonna be a discussion. You
You know, and we need
we'll
to
try to
perhaps
straighten it out.
Send out a reminder, because, you know, even Vicki and I, when we want rooms here, we book with the building use form.
You do.
So it's not like
You
the
do.
town board is not booking with the proper forms. So if the town board can do it, the people who are on
And now
the
they're going
committees
to the
can
next year, and they're
absolutely
going
go
into the
and do
new
it.
year, but yet they're not going to use it for the summer, so how do I know that? And then, you know, it started that, oh, I knew so-and-so is on vacation for 2 weeks, so then they threw in an extra class. And
That doesn't work.
and it doesn't work because it's still their room. So,
And we have to know what's going on.
and it's a safety and security issue
Right.
of the building.
Oh, yes.
That's
Anytime
exactly
you,
what it
is.
any board member can call me day or night and I can tell you what's in the building. But when they're doing the swaps behind my back, I'm unable to. So when we're getting the alarm calls, who was the last one out? You know, it's
No,
an issue.
everything should go through you,
Yeah.
and everybody should make sure that they have the building permit, their building use permit.
And I'll call around, you know, looking at
And
his
they
flyer,
definitely
I'll
should
call
do a
around to see
sign-in
his other
sheet.
towns to try to get an idea what,
They definitely should be signing
towns
in
do.
and signing out. They should be signing in and
So
signing out.
That should be easy.
That'd be
That
a good
should be
idea.
something that,
Maybe we could put
From
a
a security
clipboard up
standpoint,
behind the
you know.
alarm panel.
But-
or next
So
to
the way they know they're in the
water,
building.
next to the water and the clock.
That's our mail room.
No,
So
that should
rather
go in
than
and
one of
out.
them, but the person that's setting the alarm will know, hey, planning board's still upstairs, or hey,
Right.
the Spanish class is still
Right.
going on. You know,
Can you flip that over and keep that maintained, and then
yeah.
that would, just go ahead and do that, Dawn, because I think that should have been done a long time
Yeah.
ago, right? Then we'll all know before we check out, we look to see if there's anybody else in this building.
and one of the items that I discussed with staff today, the first one that's coming in is finding this door open. And my suggestion was, back when I was upstairs, the 1 o'clock person that left locked this door because no new staff's coming in after 1. The switch over was 1 o'clock. So I had encouraged Annette, you know, when you leave at 1 o'clock or 1:30, lock that door. So, and I feel that maybe all of our customers should be using the front entranceway,
Right.
so that way we can see who's coming in and out of the building.
That's right.
Because the alarms that are going off at night are side doors.
Right.
So that might save time for John, Chris, and Victoria coming
Right.
in at 1 o'clock in the morning, just because the wind
Do it.
blew it.
Right.
And,
So-
you know, and it's also good practice too, from a security standpoint, you know, it's just common sense. You know, if you're the last one here, you should be doing a perimeter check of all the doors.
But
It just-
staff
you should be
doesn't want
doing
to do that, Stephen, and
But-
that's the issue.
But you know what, then that needs to be a policy that we need to direct them to do as part of what their responsibility, because we're talking about the safety and security of the building, and we do not want unwanted people in it. I know that when I use this building, and if I'm the last one here, I'm checking every single door. Yeah, maybe because I work in safety and security at a school, but that's just common sense. You know, if you're the last one in this building, you should be checking the doors.
Sounds great.
Thanks.
Thank you,
We'll
John.
start that and get it
Now,
rolling.
back to the karate guy, we're just gonna let him get his stuff together and go from there, right?
Yeah, he's all
Okay.
set. So
Cool.
it's all agreed upon.
Him and the town clerk will speak, and then
Beautiful.
we'll go from there. Thank you.
No problem.
Gymnasium window estimates? So we received 3 bids to replace the existing ones with energy efficient, double pane, sliding windows that can be opened and closed and installed. The low bid, from my understanding, is Home Depot, which offered to replace them for $16,347. They provide a lifetime Home Depot warranty, which means at any time with anything that occurs to them, apparently they will replace them. The second lowest bid, from my understanding, is Lowe's for $16,347. HG Page was 22,323 and 23,966. So it appears to me that the bid should be, we should accept the Home Depot bid.
I think that since this has been hanging out since March, that it wouldn't hurt for us to take 2 weeks to read through the 15 pages and determine whether or not all the we're comparing apples to apples when it comes to this, just to make sure we're spending that money wisely. So I ask that we table this to the next meeting.
Is anybody else in agreement to that, or do you want to go ahead?
I'm fine with tabling it.
Yeah, I'd like to
Everybody's
review them
tabling?
too.
Okay,
Now,
very good.
what is the big reason for the windows? I mean, efficiency, are they not working?
It's,
They're
well,
broken.
they don't open, and for air and for energy efficiency is the main thing. If you go back to the CT Mail energy audit that they originally had done, those are major leakages of our heat, and we should save back. They were recommending, actually, originally, as I recall, that we board them up and plaster over them, and that would be the highest energy savings that you would have. They feel that's just leaking out air. The historic structure of the building, as I recall, Darlene, everybody was horrified at the fact that there would, it's a beautiful, beautiful historic structure. And they felt that we should just pay the extra money. The $16,000 is well worth it. We'll get it back over X number of years in energy savings. $16,000 isn't an insurmountable amount to recoup in the lost savings, but I don't have an exact number or how long it would take to recoup that number, but it's probably, if you go back to the original CT Mail, which is about 4 years old, they recommended insulation, which we did. We did the new ballast. I mean, it was part of the entire thing, and they had pointed out that that was a huge energy loss.
And if I recall correctly, I mean, I only glanced through a report. There was a cost savings analysis which told you
How long it would
what
take.
your payback period was for
Well, the
replacement of the windows.
The last thing that we just got, though, for the heating system, for the heat loss, to find out how big the boiler was, the BTUs that this building is losing really isn't that bad.
Well, we put in the insulation
Yeah.
since then, $19,000 worth of insulation, which probably did cut quite a bit. But the windows were
Yeah.
flagged as being a major.
Yeah, I remember this winter
Issue.
being by those windows, and it's just
There's nothing going on.
it's horrible.
Help us.
We need to fix them. We need to fix them. It's just another one of the things that we need to do, if you we'll be through all of the information that we have here, and if there's a better solution out there, then you guys can present it at the next meeting.
Great. Okay. That brings us to the Eagle Scout signboard project.
Actually, the next thing on the agenda is...
Sorry. Bass website redesign. So we are looking at some estimates, I guess, from Bass. Were you able to have a chance to look these over, Gretchen, since you were looking most
These are
closely?
the ones that were sent out a while ago. I mean, it's the same thing that I presented, and then Victoria wanted a whole new website. So she could have a picture up there and kind of stuff. The only thing I wanted was what I asked for before, which was to add another column so we could separate government information from town event information so people could find it easier, because that's one of the most frequently requested things that we get. And then the next thing was to allow us to change our picture on our website without having to go to BAS every single time and pay for it. And to do that, they would need to change a piece of code. But it would be a one-time payment instead of paying every time we wanted a different picture up.
So as I recall, there was a caveat for us to allow you to do that work, and that was that they would then no longer be responsible if there was a problem with the website. Is that right?
Something about
That's
pictures or something.
not exactly right.
Okay.
When BAS opens up that code, whoever goes in and types in that line, if they make a mistake, if they make a typo, BAS will charge us to fix the typo that they make.
Okay. So I think we don't have that caveat here in front of us to look it over, but that was one of the reservations that Victoria had. So she had written me a note that said that she checked with the comptroller's office and said that only BAS should be in the back end of a website since they have the contract with the town. But it would be okay for you, Gretchen, to do what she has been doing, but not to change the picture on the page, which they felt was back end.
The picture is
Changing
not
the
back-end code.
Okay, so there is a difference of opinion here. It would be helpful if we could have a chance to look back at the change that would be required if we allowed you to change the picture versus BAS. So, as I understand, you want to be able to change the picture as we
the
do
town.
it.
It's not me, it's the town. We
I'm
want to be
sorry,
able
the
to change.
person, a
Yes.
staff member authorized to make that change. According to the comptroller's office, according to Victoria, they said that we should not be doing anything that compromises our contract, existing contract with BAS. So I'd be in favor of allowing, paying the $800 to have BAS do it so we don't change the nature of the contract that we are paying for each month. But I'm happy to hear from other people who feel differently. So it would be $840 to change the two-column layout on the
Yeah, this is exactly
homepage,
what I proposed.
and 4 hours for changing the background for the website, but that would be BAS doing that, correct?
Yeah.
As proposed.
The quote, new background for website, item on page 3, one background for each season, 4 total equals 4 hours. Is that amount of work at $140 an hour?
Correct.
Is for BAS to change the cascading style sheet to allow it to accept a new JPEG, a new picture.
One picture.
That's what,
And every time we change the picture, it's going to cost us another $140. Is that correct?
no, this quote is so we can go in and just change the picture.
But that would mean changing the contract. We'd have to sign off to the fact that if you made a typo, then we would then
Yeah, but this is
have our
BAS's
contract.
estimate. They're gonna give you 4 pictures, and we,
No, they're just going to
One
change the
picture.
cascading style
Yeah.
sheet. So there's a place where you upload a file. And then if you get tired of that file, that picture file, you can upload a new file.
Who would do that?
Whoever was authorized to make that change.
And that would not compromise our existing contract.
It's not going into the back end, which is what the
Okay.
comptroller's office is concerned about. This is equivalent to, once they did that work, it'd be equivalent to changing out staff photos on the contact pages. It'd be equivalent to putting up new announcements for senior trips.
Somebody wants to make a motion that we... Yeah, go ahead, Marilyn.
Again, Marilyn Noe from Amenia. I'm going to direct the question to Gretchen, because I think she's Ms. Technology. Gretchen, on amenianewyork.gov, under contact, okay? The other day, I sent 3 emails to 3 members of the planning board. The content was exactly the same. And what I found, I had to go to, 3 different people. There's no way of sending you know how like in like a CC, on Optimum or Gmail or whatever, they have the main address and then they have CC and they have BCC. What I'm saying is typing the thing 3 times, it just seems to me that it could be done much more efficiently.
What I think I'm getting from you, Marilyn, is that if under contacts there were all of the committees listed for contact, and then you would click on that and it would send it to everyone in the committee.
Yeah, but I didn't want that. I wanted 3 specific people of the committee.
3 specific people of the committee, that's not built into the system.
Okay.
But I could set up groups so that if you went there and clicked on, for example, I'll pick on rec because Chris is in the audience. If you clicked on rec,
Right.
it would send to every member of the rec committee at once.
Which is similar to the town board, right? When you click on town board, then it goes through every member of the town board?
It's not up to date.
Say
Darlene
no.
is still on the list. It's not been updated.
It actually goes to the supervisor's
Yeah.
office.
What
when
I'm
you
saying
do
is
town
I'm
board.
retired, so I've got time to sit there and do
Right.
3 separate ones.
Right.
But I'm thinking about other citizens that,
We don't
you
have
know.
time.
To be honest with you, as far as I'm concerned, this website's one of the worst websites I've ever seen. And I think it's time to kick it to the curb and put a new one in.
Okay, well, anyway, I've said what I wanted to. So
Okay.
if it's something that can be worked around,
That's
it'd be
something I
great.
can put in.
Okay, thank you.
Does the board think that's a good idea? To have a group mailing out to each committee from the contacts?
I think that's just one of many examples of how we could
Of how this
be more
website-
efficient. It's very depressing.
So is that a yes?
Yes, I would say yes. We should make it as user-friendly as we can.
I would say yes. No, I mean,
I don't agree with that. I think what we need to do is I think we need to really look hard at the website itself. We had a perfectly good website before we even went this route with BAS. I wasn't on the board and I didn't make that decision to go with BAS. Now BAS, if they would be willing to give us a website that is in keeping, like the town of Northeast, very user-friendly, and other towns within the area, I would have no problem with that. But to continue down the path with the current website, you know how many complaints I get? I get complaints up the wazoo about how
Why don't you
hard to
pass them over?
navigate our website is. And it's not rocket science, really, it's not, to put together a good website. You just need to streamline things and know, what you want. And I think,
did we ever tell BAS what we wanted? There was a whole discussion a month or so ago that, there was training that was offered, and basically they gave us a cookie cutter website, and we didn't go to them to tell them what we wanted.
yeah, well,
That's right, we
That's
had
the thing, I
the
wasn't
board
here
had
when
2
it was
years
all
to
put
do it,
together.
and it
I mean, it's
was
just-
never done.
We have so much money vested now, we just got the dog license online,
That's not on the website, that's a separate piece of...
but I mean, to scrap
software.
well, I'm not saying that we're gonna scrap BAS. They don't have to necessarily do everything. They don't have to do our website. I would have no problem, hey, I think if you would be around to do it, I don't know, Fred Shakeshaft, he did a great job with our website. We didn't really have these issues when he was doing our website. And he was a local guy, and
Stephen, I think it would be really helpful when you get complaints about the website if you would pass them along so we could get that input in and work with those community members.
Well, I think
And-
that's what I'm doing
and-
right now.
No, actually, you haven't.
No,
given
I
the
am doing that right now,
specific-
Gretchen, you know, I've
I'm
said what I'm
sorry,
going to
Stephen,
say.
but you haven't given any of the specific
Because I
feedback
didn't
that
give
you've
it
gotten.
to you,
Well, I
right?
haven't gotten it from anybody.
You know what, I'm going to say this right now. I really don't feel comfortable having you be the administrator of the website as a town board member. I think that is a huge conflict of interest. That's
Well,
my
I think
feeling on it.
the worry that we have is that if Gretchen decides not to do it or whatever, what we need is for somebody who definitely is appointed here and can be replaced, and we have the mechanism here
Yeah, the website.
at the town
And I
hall.
believe that's why Victoria, I think, is finally going to let her staff be trained in doing the updates.
Which
I mean, that's
think is a
something
good
that we've
idea.
asked since she started being supervisor and offered, but
I don't think
wasn't
Supervisor Flood
taken.
offered any of that training to our town clerk.
So I
I
think,
believe there were other members of the previous administration staff that were trained, including...
Yeah, but we had 2 years, a 2-year
including-
window that we didn't even,
including
that we
people who
squandered
are,
under that
including people who are
administration.
currently employed here.
Well, that's all spilt milk. We just got to get forward with what we're doing now.
Exactly.
So, I mean, what
Yeah, it
happened
is
2
spilt
years
milk,
ago, what
and
happened
so I-
3 years ago, it really doesn't matter.
It does matter. It does
It's
matter
the
because
point
of
in
all the
fact
money
right
that
now.
has been
We
wasted
have-
and the time. And so this is what I'm proposing. What we need to do is we need to change the direction we're going with who we have the website controlled by. I think we need to go and maybe have a different approach. We need to go down a different path. Earlier we were going to look for web designers or website or somebody in-house that can manage our website
Or
without
just
having to
fix what
call
we
up
have,
to Clifton Park all the time.
Or just fix what we have and fix the mistakes that was done whenever it was done and just move forward with what we have. If the website is able to be fixed, let's try to fix it. Have we been in contact with BAS and telling them our concerns?
Yes,
It doesn't
actually,
do
they
this,
have
it doesn't do that? Have they
Unfortunately, I
helped
can't
us?
attend those
Yeah.
meetings because I have a full-time job 40 hours a week.
Steve, we all do.
I think what we need to
Yeah,
do
but
is
you
find
own
out
business.
when the contract
What's that?
expires so that we know.
You have your
what
own
kind of
business, you
window-
can leave anytime you want, Mike, and that's the
Anytime I
truth.
want.
But I think we need
I
to
wish it was
stop the
40 hours a
crosstalk.
week.
Does proposal 2 answer the questions that they're discussing? I'm just going to throw that
Well,
out
proposal
there.
2 is another option, but
I'm
it
just, does it
goes
answer,
further
let us do
down
what we want to do?
into a complete website design rehaul, which would be quite expensive. I don't think anybody here is asking for a full site.
I would like to go with the proposal 1. It's $840, and if it gives us what we need, Gretchen, and, you know, I think if it starts making the website better, I think it's worth it.
Well, I'm only asking because there is a second proposal that we're not really talking about the meat and
Make the
potatoes. I
motion.
know it's $3,000, but the question is, what does proposal 2 give us?
A brand new website.
It's a whole new website?
Whole new website.
Which is what we
Redo
need.
everything.
In my
No,
opinion.
okay.
But, you know, I
So
can be the
one's
lone
good.
wolf.
So we have a motion on the table for an acceptance of
Proposal 1.
proposal number
Accept.
1, which would incur a cost of $840, but not compromise our existing contract.
Yes.
Is there a second?
Yes,
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilman Perotti?
No.
Motion carries. Do you want to sign this for me while we're here? Just sign
Okay.
that, so that way. Thank you. Just so we're
Yeah, it's done. All right, now we can talk about the engineering proposals for heating system discussion. And we got an estimate from Morris Associates And he says, "We are pleased to provide the town with our proposal to prepare bid documents for the replacement of the existing steam boilers and heating system at the town hall with a new hydronic heating system. Based on our recent discussions, including the town board meeting on March 19th, the following is our understanding of the scope of the project. Demolition of the existing steam boilers, vent connectors, steam and condensate piping distribution system, and cast iron radiation and unit ventilators. 2, demolition of existing controls, electrical services, and accessories associated with the removal of the existing steam boilers. 3, demolition of existing makeup, water, and boiler condensate return system and accessories. 4, provide required capacity to accommodate the heating load. 5, provide a piping distribution system including circulators, pumping to include the additional hydronic heating equipment. 6, provide panel radiation to selected areas in lieu of the existing steam radiation. 7, provide control system to include control of the hydronic heating equipment. 8, provide fan coils with hydronic heating coils in selected areas. Our scope of service will include mechanical, electrical, and architectural design work associated with concealing piping and patching associated with the required scope of project. The following is our scope of services with associated cost. So the preliminary design phase is going to be $10,800, and they will finalize the scope of work, calculate the additional building heating loads, provide conceptual additional heating system design, provide additional heating equipment sizing, submit sketches and letter report for approval, an agreed to design criteria, meet with town officials as required, finalize it, and revise the criteria as required. So there's your $10,800. The second part of their proposal is a final design phase, perform field measurements, provide site visits for detailed understanding of the removal of the existing system, select boilers, systems, and controls, coordinate with control manufacturers, observe existing pipe tunnels to determine the best method of routing, observe existing rooms to determine the best locations for new radiant panels, prepare boiler installation plans and details, prepare piping design plans and details, electrical drawings, architectural plans for pipe chases and patching where required, prepare project bid manual, including standard front-end documents, incorporate prevailing wages and technical specifications, meet with town officials to review the project, $25,200. The bidding phase would be prepare 10 sets of bid documents, coordinate with the town on advertising, address questions during bidding process, attend bid meeting, evaluate bids, and make a bid recommendation to the town. There's another $3,500 for a total of $39,500.
But wait, there's more.
Just when you thought we were done. Our proposal does not include construction administration services. Those can be provided at a later date once the bids are received and it is determined whether the town will have on-site personnel oversee some of the work to limit involvement in this phase. Another item that must be performed is a hazardous material evaluation for materials that are scheduled for demolition. This was mentioned in Bob Travis's letter to the town dated October 26, 2014. Based on our experience, it is likely asbestos is present in parts of the boilers, and contractors will need to know this to price the demolition work accordingly. Our office has considerable experience with these types of heating systems. Within the last several years, we completed construction administration for a very similar project to replace the existing heating system for the renovation of the Columbia County Courthouse. We appreciate the opportunity to submit this proposal and look forward to working with the town on this project. We understand the schedule is to have the system installed prior to the start of the fall heating season, and we will work closely with the town to meet those schedules. If you have any questions, please call me. This is Pete Sotero. We had somebody from Morris Associates give us a review of his understanding of where we would go, and then the town felt that it was interested at that time in that the hydronic heating system made the most sense based on his professional evaluation. I think Mike has forwarded us some information about pellet stoves and possible funding that could be had for installing that type of system that the governor's office is promoting.
Yeah, that's something that, that the supervisor had brought to our attention about 4 or 5 to 6 months ago.
And we discussed the
Yes,
pellets.
we did.
So there were some problems with the pellets. One, that we'd have to have a little silo structure that would contain the pellets so that they don't give off harmful
CO2,
gases. And then Mike also and I just talked about it a little bit and felt that the applying for grant funding, while that's a wonderful thing and would have been great, but we're now up against the wire with the fall heating season and not a great system to make sure that we have enough heating to get through the winter.
Plus, the grants usually only go for the new eco-friendly systems.
Well, the one he was suggesting was the pellets were ineligible.
Yeah, it was pellet, and it was, Steve even talked about it, I think they had it over at Hotchkiss or whatever.
Yeah, and actually, I was talking to one of our head plumbing, in a building this size, it's not something that is feasible.
Right, that's the problem.
Yeah. Well, like I said, this, Ken Lango works for this company. He reached out to me today and asked if I saw the report that he had, and I told him I didn't. So I had him forward it to me, and I forwarded it to you guys. It might be worthwhile, hearing what he has to say. I mean, if we could get some money through grants or whatever, if the system does work, great. If it doesn't work, no harm, no foul.
And what date was he available?
I asked him about coming to the next meeting, and he says he might be able to make that work.
If he could make that work, I think it would be worthwhile. Listening to that, we just got the information from Mike, like right before the meeting.
I just got it at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to review it, so
Yep.
perhaps we could table this until the next meeting then.
sure, I have no problem tabling it to the next meeting.
Well, one thing we also had talked about,
Yes.
go ahead, Mike.
I know we don't have to bid out professional services,
Right.
but it might be a good idea to reach out a couple other engineers and find out what they would charge for this scope of work. I mean, this is for almost $40,000,
I
it's
agree.
$39,500. I mean, if we could reach out to other engineers and find out what they would charge, I mean, if we could save $5,000 here, $10,000 here, it's taxpayers' money, that would be good to
It's
save.
a huge expense, and if we could, that makes sense. That makes sense to me.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I could find other engineers.
That would be terrific.
And also ask Ken if he can come on the 21st.
I'll call Ken.
Great. Thank you.
All right, Eagle Scout signboard project is, we did discuss it at the recreation meeting the other night on Monday, and the Eagle Scout was going to replace the signboard kiosk that's down by the railroad track crossing down in Wassaic. However, that ends up, at least from our tax parcel map, it looks like it's in the Metro North property line.
So he's like really getting the full Eagle
He's getting his
Scout
Eagle Scout project.
experience
Yes, indeed.
by having to deal with every bureaucracy.
Right. So
Poor
there's
guy.
another layer that potentially would have taken too much time. And we believe he feels now that an alternative site at the Amenia ball field would be preferable anyway, because there's so much traffic there at the entrance to the ball field as you park and then walk past the flagpole and the benches there on the left, heading towards the concession stand, that would be an ideal place right inside the split rail fencing. So there's a place there for the exact same kiosk, only a better structurally sound.
I think that, I
Kiosk.
looked at that space, I thought it would be a lovely place to
Addition.
put it, and coincidentally, while I was looking at it, some people were just walking around in the park and they were milling in that space. So had the kiosk been there, they
They
would have
coulda
seen
looked-
it. So
It
I
could-
was just like, couldn't have asked for a better Should I, shouldn't I,
No,
should I, shouldn't I?
yeah, and for the average person who's sitting there waiting for their kids to enjoy the playground or watching their kids on the fields, they could then also look at the upcoming schedule of what's next. It could be a list of recreation exercise classes going on at the town hall. It could be, and I'm hoping that the scout will keep an eye on the whole kiosk and make sure that it's being used appropriately and not looking too trashy, you know, that the old stuff comes off in a timely manner. So everybody's fine with the relocation of that
Hey,
project?
I'm okay with it.
Yes.
Okay. Other matters?
I'll make a motion that,
Go ahead.
that we move the location of the kiosk to, what do we call it? Just call
Beekman
it-
Park?
Beekman
Beekman Park. Borden Park.
Beekman.
Beekman.
I'll second it.
Councilman Salengo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger.
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle.
Yes.
And Councilman Perotti.
Aye.
Okay, now we have other matters. Does anybody have another
I
matter?
have other matters.
Okay.
I was talking to the town clerk,
Let me get my email.
and I got a phone call from the blood bank, the blood drive people, and we thought about it, and we think it would be a good idea sometime in late June to do another blood drive. It's a worthy cause, and you're going to help save a life somewhere, especially if you have a rare blood type, and I'd like to be able to see if we could put something like that together.
Okay, the individuals who worked the blood drive here for the second year in a row had a blast with us here. And they have recommended our site for the month of June. She was looking to see if June 24th or June 25th was okay. I mean, she was looking earlier in the month, but due to the Amenia Carnival, I can't be in two places at once. So we went for the week after the carnival. I know they're specifically looking for whole platelets, is that what they're calling you for?
Yep.
They're going to give out this time free tickets for anyone that comes back to our drive here, Mets tickets.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So she asked me if that would be a good selling point. If you were to donate during the month of June, would they come for 2 Mets tickets? And it would be offered to all donors. So
Wow.
I'd like to do either one of the dates if there's no objection. I just need to, once I knew it would be okay with you guys, I'll just,
Yeah.
and I like the location up behind the gym, so we'll probably end up being that Thursday because it's booked for
That's-
Wednesday, but
Yeah.
if
I
there's
think-
no dance, then I'll go to the Wednesday. I just gotta talk to Heather, because I'm not sure. I know she wanted the end of the month, so as
Either
soon
one
as I
looks
have a
fine.
flyer, I'll share it.
All right.
So Mets tickets. Save a life.
Hey, they're in
Go
first
to the
place.
game.
Joan, one other thing while we're talking about this. We had to drop some stuff off at Dutchess County ASPCA for my daughter's school. The new building over there is unbelievable.
It's gorgeous, right?
Now, I was talking to a guy, PJ, over there. I was talking to him about doing some kind of adoption thing or something on this side of the hill, and he was all for it. And when I was talking to him, when we were there was actually a group of seniors there that were in the building knitting little blankets for the dogs and everything. Now, I'm wondering if it's worth reaching out to Dutchess County ASPCA. We could get in with the seniors and stuff like that, and maybe we could put something together through the town to have a, little adopter program
That'd be great.
here, or,
I know last year Gretchen and I spoke in great length about that, but they were in construction of their building, so they kept suggesting that we wait for the construction to be completed, but now that you've been there
yeah.
and they seem to be a little bit more settled,
I-
I can
I
reach
have
back
the-
out to her.
I have the card of the lady. It's probably the same lady. I'll just make sure it's the right one. I mean, if you want
Yeah,
to
that
reach
would
out
be
to her.
great, and I know
well,
Gretchen, I'm sure will be more than glad to join us on that project.
Oh,
We-
you know I will.
I know you will. So that'll be fun. We'll pick a nice weekend.
Good, Gretchen, I'll get you the number. I'll get Dawn the number, and you guys
Yeah.
take it from there.
Because that'll be a great opportunity to encourage everyone to come into the town hall, license your dog, meet Leslie, the dog officer, and then
Do we have the new software yet?
we can, we could have it going.
How cool would that be?
Yeah.
Outside.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we'll work together on that, guys.
Public comment?
Vicki, before you move on,
Oh,
there's
ahead.
one resolution to rescind
Oh.
that prior resolution
I
on the
see.
highway
I'm
reserve
sorry.
fund.
So that was...
Are you still under public comment?
In
No.
We
one
didn't get there
moment,
yet.
one
Do
moment,
one more thing.
one resolution, Tom, then it's all you.
Huh. I know, I have it.
Well, while you're doing that,
You want it?
Um,
Don't mind?
We can read
I
that.
did go over
Oh, there it
the
is.
errors on the backup jobs that we were getting on our system with BAS. And they've been able to confirm that the backups are going through, even though a couple of the jobs are still reading as if the system is not coming back online, but it is. It's just a timing issue. And like we spoke about earlier, the size limit on the attachments for emails has changed from what you can open in a web page while you're sitting there looking at your email. It used to be higher, like 5 meg, now it's down to 2 meg. You can of course always save the attachment and open it, but just what you can open right in the browser has changed. But the change has allowed us for greater stability of the attachments, so it was kind of a trade-off, and I guess it'll turn out good in the end. So I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that.
Thank you, Gretchen. This is resolution number 13, rescinding resolution number 12 of 2015, establishing Highway Department Equipment and Machinery Reserve Fund and authorizing deposit of funds. Whereas on April 16, 2015, resolution number 12 of 2015 was passed by the town board pertaining to establishment of a separate capital reserve fund to finance costs of acquisition of highway equipment and machinery to be used by the town highway department, and authorization of the deposit of $60,000 into said fund to be used for purposes of acquisition of highway equipment and machinery to be used by the town highway department. And whereas resolution number 8 of 2014 previously provided for the establishment of a capital reserve fund to be known as the Highway Department Equipment Machinery Reserve Fund, in parentheses fund, to finance all or part of the cost of the acquisition of highway equipment and machinery to be used by the highway department, and authorized and directed to the deposit of $9,900 as included in the fiscal year 2013 budget into said fund. And whereas resolution number 8 of 2014 further provided that the town supervisor is authorized to invest the monies of said fund from time to time as provided by the general municipal law, and that no expenditure shall be made from the fund unless the expenditure has been authorized by resolution duly adopted by the town board in accordance with section 6C of the general municipal law. And whereas in consideration of resolution number 8 of 2014, resolution 12 of 2015 is unnecessary. Now, therefore, be it resolved that a regularly held meeting of the town board on May 7, 2015, and on a motion of the town Councilwoman Vicki Doyle and seconded by Councilman or woman Stephen Perotti.
I second that one.
Resolution number 12 of 2015 is hereby rescinded as unnecessary. The foregoing resolution was voted upon with all councilmen and women voting as follows.
Noted as Supervisor Perotti absent. Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
No, we're not going to redo the redo of the redo, right? This is the end of it.
This is rescinding number
Okay.
12.
Yes.
Councilman Perotti?
Yes.
Councilman Delango?
Yes.
Okay.
Sign and pass. This is the only one for tonight.
I think we are now at public comments.
Mr. Warner would like to make a public comment.
Okay.
He likes to start us off and end us.
There you go. Before he starts, though, I just want to announce that Weebatuck beat Dover 20-0.
Spoiler.
Yeah, they're doing great. They're going to be playing at Dutcher Stadium on Saturday. No, Friday. Saturday. Just a great.
I don't
great
think
year
I
for
need to
Amenia.
introduce myself a second time,
No, I think we know who
but
you are.
I am so very proud that you recognize the Boy Scouts Some of us are senior Boy Scouts, but we were there at one time, and not too many left. But I received a thank you card from Troop 29 that was signed by every member of that troop at that corned beef and cabbage dinner they had. We had a display set up. I nearly fell off the stool getting a thank you note, but I want to recognize that they are very, very proud. They make me proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
We should close on that.
There might be others.
No, they're just here to socialize with us.
So there's no other public comment?
Keep go. Oh, no, Arlene was trying to get up.
Okay.
Give her a chance.
Yep, let her do that. 3-minute limit. Should 3-minute limit, reminder.
Hey.
Oh, just a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Give her time to get up.
In follow-up to Tom, I did, on his invitation, really join him in that display that he had come up with down. And I've had invitations from the Boy Scouts before, and they always do send a nice thank you, so, right, anyway, so, no, they're great. It was a great event, really. A couple of questions. One is, and if I misheard this, you can stop me right away. The relocation of the kiosk, I'm probably not saying it, at the Beekman Park? And did you check with Tom Downey and the Monarchs down there
Well, we talked
as to their location?
We went through the Recreation Commission, they voted on it, and they agreed to that was a fine location. Christine Ford and I were down there, we took photographs, we sent it around.
I would just hope that you would have their input, that's all. They don't know I'm saying this. I didn't know I was going to say it either until you brought the subject up. But I mean, they're the user.
They could be, and asked, I think the scout would be happy to call them and make sure it would work.
That's just my thought on that one. And the state's clean and the electric company, well, we have NISAC out here. I don't think we have, anyway. And do you know if they're going to go along Route 343? And you might not know. I'm trying to remember, They've been cleaning along the roads, thank goodness, getting the limbs away from the wires and what have you, and cleaning back, and the trash, and some people are picking up, and some people are just continuing to throw out. I can't believe your generation. Excuse me, I have to say that one. That they still throw stuff out beside the road. After all of it, it's amazing. But anyway, along that road, one of the wires is way down. This is not too far from the intersection with Leedsville Road. It's going, and you must excuse me, historian thing again, but there is a historic road marker over there, and I've got pictures of historic markers all across the Dutchess Turnpike from here to Poughkeepsie, as much as I can find, and I can't see that one. So. And that could be my fault. But would it be all right with you if I call Chuck Walters and ask him what they're going to do along that road? And are they going to, because they have removed grass and growth and everything around all the others that on the way from here to Poughkeepsie. They're small brown, or they've got stones around them, and they say the mileage from Poughkeepsie to that particular point. Yeah. And that was on the stagecoach days. And 343 is really a part of the Dutchess Turnpike. So 44 goes north, but and then it was connected up.
It would be fine for you to call Chuck, and also regarding the electrical line, I did call NISAC about that.
Oh, okay. I've just added that in because I really looked today, and I was at the wires as well as everything else. But I've been looking and looking for that So,
Well, at least they got the tree off of it, so, or
so you think they're
brushes.
gonna, I mean, I don't need to call them if you think they're gonna come along and do that part of the
I
road.
don't,
And
I
you
don't
may
know
not
about,
know.
I
never
don't know
remember
about the
knowing.
roads, but as far as the, I don't know about the roads, but as far as the wire, the sagging wire, they've
And that's low.
done a little work on it.
Been down a while,
Yeah, months,
quite a while.
yeah.
I can call as a citizen and complain. Well, but he
Wouldn't
knows
hurt.
me, so I can't.
Wouldn't hurt,
Huh?
wouldn't hurt for people to call NICEAG and complain about it.
Yeah, okay. But I didn't want to interfere with them, but the roads really need cleaning anyway, so. Anyway, thank you.
But who's counting?
They need to be talked to. Why, putting to spending money right, left, and sideways. You can't take care of this building and turn out all the lights at the end of it. You work the night shift? Steve, did you ever work the night shift?
Yep, I've worked all 3 shifts.
You say it, and I did too. When you work the night shift and you're alone on the job, boy, you better be sure you check everything.
Okay, town board
You
comments?
really.
Any town board? No? Okay, I just had one question if you happen to know. Do you know if we have a cleanup day or a planting day planned?
Usually the planting day is the Saturday before Memorial Day, which would make it the 23rd. I was actually going to try and see if we could get it done on the 16th, though.
And you don't think things will freeze by then?
That's what I'm carefully
Okay, let's
worried
just wait.
about.
Okay, we're not quite ready for a planting day, so let's have a motion to adjourn the meeting and go into executive session.
I do have one community announcement.
Go ahead.
Beth David is going to be having an open house tour on Saturday the 16th from 10 to 12. And that should be a lot of fun.
Okay. And I'm also trying to arrange a 10 a.m. kitchen tour for board members who want to see what the plans for the kitchen are. It would be right here at the kitchen.
What
And
day?
it would be Leo and Rudy if he's available. It would be Saturday, the 16th at 10 a.m. Would that work for you, Mike? If it,
It'd be tough, I think.
yeah,
16th.
he's only here on the weekends, so we have to. And then the next one is tough for me, but I don't have to be there necessarily.
What's that, next Saturday, right?
It'd be next Saturday.
I should be able to make it work.
Do you want to go earlier?
Earlier is always better.
So that we can get on with other
If you
things.
could do
Try
8, 8's fine with me.
8.
Yeah,
Let's
that would
say
be
8.
much better.
I mean, we could do 6 o'clock if you want.
Well, I'll set it at 8
6
and
is a
then
little late. We could go 5.
you might be the only one there at 7. Okay. So do we have a motion to,
I move that we go into executive session to discuss pending litigation, and I'd like to also move to appoint Vicki Doyle to take the minutes.
is there a second? I'll second.
There you go.
Councilman Zalango?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hitzelberger?
Yes.
Councilman Doyle?
Yes.
And Councilman Hurley?
Yes.